Welcome to today's video. We are working on part 2 of Unit 4, and our page numbers are 42 through 45. For these 4 pages, we are working with more work with our intervals of the second and the third, which we were introduced to last week. So the first step for page 42 is tisket, a tasket, a tisket, a tasket. You know that song that was popular from back in the day? Reminds me of Ella Fitzgerald's rendition. It's really good. Okay, so the first step we're going to do is clap and count the rhythm. And we're just going to go ahead and clap it here. It is played with the left hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Release. Okay, next step is going to be clapping and saying the note name. For the left hand, bass clef. Name the notes for measure number 1. And that's G. All right, that is G. Because for the spaces are A, C, E, and G is the last space there on top for the lines G, B, D, F, A. Okay, so let's go ahead and clap and say those note names. 1, 2, 3, 4. G, E, F, G, E, F, G, G, E, F, G, E, F, 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 D, F, 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 D, G, F, E, D, C, 2, 3, 4, release. Excellent. Now we're going to go ahead and play and sing the note names. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. G, E, F, G, E, F, G, G, E, F, G, E, F, 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 D, F, 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 D, G, F, E, D, C, 2, 3, 4, release. So after having practiced that with singing the note names, try playing it alone without saying the note names aloud, but saying them in your mind. 1, 2, 3, 4. Very good. The next part on page 42 is sight reading. So for the sight reading, remember your steps. What you want to do is try to consolidate all of the steps in one before playing. So in your mind, you will clap internally in your mind. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, release. And that's for number 1. Simply counting the beats. Next, you're going to say the note names. 1, 2, 3, 4. G, F, 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 E, 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 D, D, C, 2, 3, 4, release. And then ghost saying the note names. G, F, 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 E, 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 D, D, C, 2, 3, 4, release. Now, ghosting means to not play the notes, but to make the motion on the key with that finger, okay? And then, of course, afterwards, you will play the exercise, number 1 through 4, sight reading. Remember, sight reading means you do not rehearse before playing this music. You simply go through the steps, counting the rhythm, saying the note names, ghosting, and then you will play. And of course, I'll leave this sight reading exercise for you to work on, and we'll try it next week. at your lesson. Next, on page 43, we have write and play exercise. This is interval reading. You will write the interval name, whether it is a second or a third, on the line below the staff. And then, of course, you'll play using the correct fingering. So A, C to E, what's that interval? Next B, F, D, what is that interval? C, D, what is that interval? D, what is that interval? Then the letter E, okay, F, G, and then letter H. Very good. Seconds on page 35. Write a half note of a second from the given note in the first four measures of each line below. And then turn all the stems in the treble clef up, and turn all the stems in the bass clef down. So remember, write the note head first for the half note, and then write the appropriate stem direction, whether it's up for the right or down for the left. So remember, we're working on seconds only. What is a second above C? And then for the second one, you'll write a second above this note here, D, and then a second above E, a second above F, and then you'll just name the G note there at the end. And for the left hand, you're going to write a second above this note, and then second above E, second above D, a second above C, and then just write the name of C there at the end. And the same thing applies for page 43 on thirds, numbers 4 and 5. You will write a third above each of the notes. Remember, thirds are a line to a line or a space to a space. For the thirds, you always skip a white key, like that. Only writing the thirds above those notes. Not literally above, but we want to write it above the box right here, just like that. So when you are finished writing each of those seconds and thirds, play through the piece, counting and clapping the beats, clapping and saying the note names, and then playing and saying the note names, and then playing alone. We'll practice that at your lesson. On page 44, we are working on playing harmonic intervals. Previous pages were melodic. Now it's time for harmonic intervals. These are notes that are played together. Remember, harmony means two or more. So, for this one here, it may require that we play each note individually first. Play C, and then D, and then play C and E. 2, 3, 4, it's a second and a third. Then for the left hand, it's 1 and 2, F and G, second, and then E and G, a third. When we play in harmonic intervals, we want to press both keys down at the same time, as though it sounds like one coming down at the same time. We don't want to bring it like this. See how there's kind of a one right after the other? Not like that, but like this. Coming down together. We have next rocking intervals on page 44. First, we write the name of the note at the beginning, and that's F. The names of the notes in the left hand are F and G. The names on measure number 5 is E, and then, of course, the names of the notes are E and G. So the first step is to clap the rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, rest, 3, rest. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there you have it. Next is going to be clapping and saying the note name. Here we go. Now, when we have our intervals, we won't be saying F, E, E, G. We'll say the interval. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. F, E, E, G, rest, D, rest, second, third, third, second, second. Very good. E, D, D, C, C, and then third, second, second, third, rest, third, rest. And then, of course, we're going to play the note names as we say it. 1, 2, 3, 4. F, E, E, D, rest, D, second, third, third, second, second, E, D, D, C, rest, C, third, second, second, third, third. That will be repeated because of the lyrics. You can go ahead and sing those lyrics. Next, we have on page 45 more harmonic seconds and thirds. Let's play through them. We're interchanging one hand per measure. 1, 2, 3, 4. Second, third, and we have the second here for 4 and 5. Second, C and D, and then third, C and E. And then for the right hand, we have F and G, 5 and 4, and then E and G, 3 and E and G is 5 and 3. That's a third, second, and third. So we have seconds up here, and seconds up here. Seconds up here, seconds up here. And we're playing that for the harmonica rock. Let's go ahead and clap and count the rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Release. Very good. And notice on number 1 for the harmonica rock, it says write the name of each harmonic interval, either second or third, in the box above it. Now, if we're having difficulty identifying the note names, you may temporarily write the note names to the side of those notes in pencil. You can have that in pencil while you're practicing during the week, but before your lesson, you must erase those note names written to the sides, okay? It is simply a helper for you during the week of practice, but you must memorize these notes. It is the intervals that we would like to identify best. Here we go. Let's go ahead and clap and say the interval. 1, 2, 3, 4. Second, third, second, second, third, second, third, second, second, third, second, third, second, second, third, second, third, second, second, third. Release. Okay, it's a little unusual to be saying that, but we want to be able to identify intervals quickly because these intervals can be all over the place and we want to understand what they are very, very fast. Next, we're going to go ahead now and play the note names as we say the second or third interval. 1, 2, 3, 4. Second, third, second, second, third, second, third, second, second, third, second, third, second, second, third, second, third, second, second, third. Now notice the intervals do look kind of similar, but they are placed differently on the staff. Okay, know what those note names are and work with them best. Let's all play now. Without speaking, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a forte. Release. And that's to be played 2 times. So please practice these exercises as best as you can until we are ready to play them all perfectly for next lesson. Now, one thing about playing intervals at either side of the hand, there may be a tendency to lift these fingers as we bring down our fingers like this. Or if we play up here, we're lifting these fingers high while these ones come down below. Please try to avoid that, okay? Always keep your fingers touching the keys while you're playing other keys on the piano. Okay, just like that. You want to strengthen these fingers. Go to this exercise, or a really amazing exercise to practice playing these intervals without lifting the other fingers is to modify the 5-finger exercise number 2 and practicing like this. Playing seconds. So you can practice the 5-finger exercise with seconds or with thirds. That's even hard for me. So practice the modified 5-finger exercise number 2, and then we'll maybe be a little bit better at playing these harmonic intervals. Okay, so good luck, and we will see you at next lesson.